The entire love and hip-hop universe is in shock after MC Harris' shocking revelation. Fans believe they knew why he was abruptly fired from the show, but now that the truth is out, it's much worse than anyone could have predicted. Betrayal, backstabbing men, and deals. Let's just say that some people don't want this information to be known for weeks. Were there financial issues, production issues, or did someone set him up behind the scenes? But fans were left in disbelief when Mendeecees saw himself go live and expose everything. Believe me, this story is much more than just a reality TV drama. It's about loyalty, retaliation, and a betrayal so profound that even Yandy wasn't prepared for it. So what exactly did Mendeecees reveal, and why is the network rushing to contain the damage? This story is going to take some unexpected turns, and by the end of it, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about Men in Baltimore. Men knew the truth, and he wasn't going to sit back while everyone else tried to change his story. He took a deep breath, picked up his phone, and thought. The past few weeks have been a flurry of rumors, whispers, and outright lies about why he was no longer on Love and Hip Hop. Fans conjectured that he had walked away, that he had been cut for low ratings, or that some behind-the-scenes contract dispute had forced him out. When the live video began, fans immediately flooded the comments with questions about what happened, why he was fired, and if this was about Yandy. For a brief moment, Mendeecees simply shook his head and looked into the camera with a knowing smirk. He wasn't just going to give them answers, though. He was going to drop the bombshell that would have the entire Love and Hip Hop cast scrambling. I see you all have been. Mendeecees took a long pause to allow the tension to build before he finally spoke, but it wasn't about contracts or ratings. Rather, it was about betrayal. Someone I trusted, someone very close to me, sold me out and they wanted me gone. He started off speaking calmly, but with a lot of tension, and I heard all these little stories going around that said I walked away, Nina, and that I got cut because of my contract. Let me tell you what really happened. Fans of I Knew Too Much were shocked to learn what he was talking about. Was it a member of the cast, someone from the production, or worse, Yandy? He leaned closer to the camera. In this industry, control is everything, and if you start doing something that isn't allowed, they start looking for ways to cut you off. That's precisely what happened to me. The tension was high, and viewers were waiting for him to say something. But before he could reveal the entire story, he paused when a comment appeared on the screening from a verified account belonging to a prominent figure in the industry. It said, "Be careful what you say, Mendeecees. You know they're watching." Mendeecees laughed and shook his head, realizing how deep this goes. They don't want me to talk, but I'm not afraid at that moment. The atmosphere in the room changed. It wasn't just about a firing anymore. It was about a cover-up. The more he discussed scenes that involved Love and Hip Hop, the more obvious it became that someone had set him up. Then suddenly, Yandy joined the live stream, and the comments went crazy. I'm Yandy, and is she going to expose him? What's going on? Mendeecees saw her name appear and grinned. Oh, now you want to tune in. Presently you want to see what I'm saying for a moment. There was silence, and then Yandy asked to join the live stream. The MC hesitated because he knew that allowing her on could take things to a whole new level. But he had nothing to conceal, so he granted the request, and a few seconds later, Yandy's face was on the screen next to his. Her expression was tense, and she began speaking in a softer tone than usual. Are you sure you want to do this? Sent shockwaves through the audience, and fans instantly started. It's difficult to tell, but Yandy's eyes flickered with something like guilt and frustration. Then she said something that changed everything. You weren't laid off, Mendeecees. I know you're mad. I know you feel betrayed, but going live like this isn't the way. Men laughed bitterly. Yandy handled things behind closed doors. Trusting the people who were supposed to have my back didn't work out too well for me. It wasn't me, but I know who it was. Mendeecees' face darkened, and he didn't say anything. He just stared at her, the betrayal in his eyes cutting deep. The audience was on edge, waiting for her next words, but before she could say anything, Yandy took a deep breath and whispered, You were set up. The comments exploded and fans were going crazy. What does she mean? Who set him up? And why was she saying this? One thing was certain. This was just the beginning of something much bigger. MD wasn't backing down, and I couldn't believe the storm he had unleashed. His cryptic social media posts sent shockwaves through the love and hip-hop fandom, and now everyone was demanding answers as the speculation ran wild. She could speak, and then the lead abruptly ended. The screen went black, leaving fans stunned. Did the platform shut it down? Did MD end it himself? The internet was ablaze with rumors about him, ranging from legal issues to behind-the-scenes feuds, but what Mendeecees had to say was something no one saw coming. Yandy was pacing back and forth at home, and she had tried calling Mendeecees several times, but he wasn't returning her calls. She knew her husband, and when he found himself in a tight spot, he either fought his way out of it or made a move so unexpected that no one could predict it, and at the moment, she feared he was going to do something. The last thing they needed was more drama, but for me, he was sick of being cautious. That night, a surprise Instagram Live notification appeared, and thousands of fans joined instantly to hear MB's side of the story. The screen flickered, and he was sitting in a dimly lit room, his face tense and his expression unreadable. "Listen, you guys have been talking, you've been guessing, but I'm about to set the record straight," he said, and the chat erupted. Before dropping the bombshell, Mendeecees took a deep breath. "They didn't terminate my employment because of ratings. They didn't terminate my employment because I wasn't bringing drama," he said. There was too much silence. Then chaos came in at lightning speed, and people were losing their minds. Yandy watched from her phone, feeling her stomach drop. What was he doing? He leaned closer to the camera, his voice lowering. "Show it isn't just a show, it's a business, and if you don't play the game the way they want you to, they throw you out. However, I peeped too much and saw things I wasn't supposed to see, but the audience was captivated. This wasn't just a disgruntled reality star venting about being fired. It was something bigger, and it was obvious that men and Durant scared to go there." Yandy dialed his number once more, panicking. What was he thinking? If he revealed too much, there could be serious repercussions. Mendeecees had already gone too far, and he was prepared to reveal everything. Let me tell you about the process they use behind closed doors to determine who gets to be the antagonist and who gets to be the fan favorite. You think this is real, but these fights and scandals are planned, and when you stop playing along, you get replaced. The audience was enthralled. The comments were coming in so quickly that Instagram could hardly handle them, and other reality TV stars began joining the. When Yandy's name appeared on his screen, he hesitated to answer because doing so would stop him from moving forward, and ignoring it could make things worse. He swiped to decline the call and returned home, where Yandy let out a frustrated sigh. "Mendeecees what you are," she muttered under her breath, grabbing her keys. She had to get to him before this got too far. Meanwhile, Scott Y, the mastermind behind Love and Hip Hop, Mona wasn't the type to panic. She had handled bigger scandals before. But if Mendeecees was truly about to expose the inner workings of the show, that was dangerous, and it wasn't just dangerous for him. A message appeared on the men's VC screen saying, "End this now, you don't want this." Her phone had already been alerted, and producers, PR teams, and even cast members were contacting her nonstop to ask how they should handle this. "They were trying to silence me, but I'm not done. Let's talk about contracts. You've probably wondered why some people stay on the show for years while others leave overnight. It's not just about ratings. It's about control, and when you stop allowing them to control you, they let you go." At that point, Yandy rushed into the room, grabbing for his phone, but he pulled away before she could say, "No, Yandy, I'm done playing their game." One thing was certain though, he had just declared war on Love and Hip Hop, and he wasn't backing down. Men in BC couldn't believe the storm that had erupted around him ever since whispers of this firing began. The reality TV world had been set on fire. His screen abruptly went black, and the live had been cut off, leaving fans in complete shock. Social media exploded. Was he shut down by the network? Could someone from production step in, or did Instagram cut him off due to the sheer volume of traffic? The fact that so many people were abandoning him, people he had once thought of as family, was what really hurt him, and the final straw was when an insider from the production team gave fictitious justifications for his dismissal, portraying him as someone who was hard to work with and had turned into a liability to the showman. Was furious that he had remained silent for so long, but now that it was time to clear his name, he sat in his house reading through countless messages and comments. His phone buzzed constantly with calls from reporters, former cast members, and even some industry insiders who wanted the real tea, but he wasn't ready to talk just yet. Yandy, who was across the room watching him, could see the fire in his eyes. Some fans were stumbling by him, but many others had already written him off. One comment read that he believed he was untouchable, but Mona proved him wrong. Yandy nodded while sitting next to him, saying, "You know how this industry works. If you stay quiet, they'll keep twisting the truth." Mendeecees exhaled sharply. "You think I don't know that? But this isn't just a simple misunderstanding. They're making me out to be something I'm not, and you know damn well that I didn't do half the things they're accusing me of. You can't let them control the narrative," she said in a firm but gentle tone. MC shot back, saying, "I'm not going to sit here and let them destroy my name. They want drama. I'll give them drama, but it'll be on my terms." As the hours went by, the man's name trended on social media, and even major gossip blogs hinted that he was about to break the news. Anything Mendam ran a hand down his face before looking up at her. "I'm going live tonight, and I'm going to set the record straight." Yandy's eyes widened. "Are you sure that's the best way?" "You know they'll try to twist whatever you say. Let them try." When he finally hit the live button on Instagram, thousands of people flooded in within seconds. The energy was electric, and he looked directly into the camera, his face serious. "Okay, let's get one thing straight right now. Some people thought he would come clean about some behind-the-scenes scandal, while others lied and said he was about to make shocking accusations against the producers. There's a lot you guys don't know about how this show actually operates. They wanted me to be a part of something that went against everything I stand for. I wasn't fired because I was difficult. I wasn't fired because I caused trouble. I was fired because I refused to play their game any longer." The comment section exploded, with people demanding more details and asking who he was referring to. DC's voice was steady but laced with emotion. Backstage drama had always been a part of reality TV. But this was a direct accusation. He wasn't just hinting at tension with the producers. He was outright saying that they had tried to manipulate his storyline. When he pushed back, they cut him loose. "So what was it they wanted you to do?" A fan comment appeared on the screen, and Mendeecees smirked. "Let's just say if I had." Yandy's voice could be heard in the background, and you were certain that he wanted to say, "On their little plan, you would be seeing an entirely different version of me on your screens. A version that isn't real, and that's not who I am." However, the live chat exploded with theories, with some fans speculating that he was discussing a love triangle. The most shocking rumors surfaced when a former castmate, an anonymous account that had formerly worked with Mendeecees, commented, "He isn't lying. They did the same thing to me." MC's eyes flickered as he read the comments, realizing that he wasn't the only one who had been turning real lives into scripted messes and turning people into villains for years, all for the sake of ratings. The internet exploded as soon as you stopped playing along. You're out. Numerous blogs began covering his claims in real time, and some former cast members even began to allude to their interactions with the show's producers. It was chaos, but Mendeecees wasn't finished yet. "Let me ask you something. Why do you think so many OGs from Love and Hip Hop just vanished without warning? Do you think they all simply chose to leave, or do you think some of them were pushed out?" He had done what he set out to do, flipping the script, putting the producers in the spotlight and changing the narrative, but he was unaware that this was just the beginning of an even bigger storm that had erupted around him ever since the rumors of this firing started. The reality TV. World had been set on fire, and what really shocked BCS was that so many people were involved in the conspiracy theories that were now rife. People he had once thought of as family were abandoning him, and then the final betrayal occurred when an insider from the production team leaked the alleged official reasons for his dismissal, portraying him as a liability to the show and someone who was hard to work with. He was furious that he had remained silent for so long, but now it was time to clear his name. So he sat in his house reading endless messages and comments, some from supporters. His phone was constantly buzzing with calls from reporters, former cast members, and even some industry insiders who wanted the real tea, but he wasn't ready to talk just yet. He wasn't ready to tell this side of the story until he could do so. Yandy, who was watching him from across the room, could see the fire in his eyes. However, many others had already written him off because he was too comfortable and booted him. One comment read another that he thought he was untouchable, but Mona proved him wrong. She said in a firm but gentle voice, "You know how this industry works. If you stay quiet, they'll keep twisting the truth." NY hailed sharply, "You think I don't know that, but this isn't just a simple misunderstanding. They're making me out to be something I'm not. And you know damn well that I didn't do half the things they're accusing me of." Nod sitting beside him. "So what's the move? Because you're staying cooped up in here reading comments won't fix anything, men." D ran a hand down his. VC shot back saying, "I would rather not sit here and let them destroy my name. They want drama. I'll give them drama, but it'll be on my terms." As the hours went by, anticipation grew as MBC's name trended on social media, and even major gossip blogs hinted that he was about to break his silence. Yandy's eyes widened before looking up at her. "I'm going live tonight, and I'm going to set the record straight," he said, looking up at her. Some thought he would reveal some behind-the-scenes scandal, while others thought he was going to make shocking accusations against the producers. Regardless, when he finally pressed the Instagram Live button, thousands of people flooded in a matter of seconds. The energy was electric, and he looked directly into the camera. "Let's get one thing straight, though," and he started by saying, "I wasn't fired because I was difficult. I wasn't fired because You all have no idea how this show actually operates. They wanted me to be a part of something that went against everything I stand for, and they wanted me to play along with some fake scripted mess that would make me look bad. When I refused to play their game any longer, I got fired." The comment section went crazy, and people demanded more details, asking what he meant and who he was referring to. Backstage drama had always been a feature of reality TV, but this was a direct accusation. He wasn't merely implying that he and the producers were at odds. He was bluntly saying that they had attempted to control his plot, and when he resisted, they cut him loose. "What was it they wanted you to do?" A fan comment appeared on the screen, and Mendeecees Smurf. "Let's just say that if I had followed their little scheme, you would have seen an entirely different version of Neon." Then in the background, you heard Yandy's voice saying, "You sure you want to say all this?" Menby turned slightly but didn't move away from the camera. "Yandy, I've been quiet for too long, and look where that got me." The live chat erupted in theories, with some fans assuming he was discussing a love triangle. The producers wanted to push the idea that it had to do with fictitious conflicts with. NBC's eyes flitted as he read the comment. "He isn't lying. He did the same thing to me." Other cast members, but the most startling rumor followed. "They've been doing this for years, turning people into villains and turning real lives into scripted mess just for ratings. And the second you stop playing along, you're out." The internet erupted, and numerous blogs began reporting on his claims in real life. The conversation went crazy. Conspiracy theories were rife, and Mendeecees was at the center of it all. He said in a firm voice, "Why do you think so many OGs from Love and Hip Hop just disappear out of nowhere? Do you really think they all just decided to walk away, or do you think some of them were pushed out?" And some former cast members even began to hint at their experiences with the show's producers. He changed the story, flipped the script, and put the producers in the spotlight, but he didn't realize that this was only the beginning of a bigger storm. Mendeecees has revealed the truth, but will the industry give him another chance? Or is his career officially over? Fans are split. Some think men deserve justice, while others say he brought this on himself. It's up to you to decide. This drama is far from done, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below if you think M should return to the program or if this is his last chapter. If you thought this surprising revelation was shocking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable alerts.